Hello. So think about this. If you want to migrate an application that is connected to a database um, that are currently running in a region in the US, right? You want to migrate that application and a database to another region in Australia. So how can you do that? So the way we are going to do that is, first of all, I'm going to stop my virtual machines, right? These are virtual machines, right? So I'm going to stop them. And the reason why I'm stopping the virtual machines is because I want consistency, right? I don't want data to be added to the application or to the database. You know, so I want consistency. So I need to stop this first, right? Because the application is on this application this VM and the database is on this other VM, right? So I need to stop that. Then the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a snapshot, right? So if you look at this VM, right? So let me come here, look at the disk. This is the disk. These are the disks that are attached. This disk is attached to the virtual machine, and this other disk is attached to the other virtual machine that is holding the database. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to create a snapshot, right? So I'll create this is a snapshot. In fact, from here, if you click, you see create snapshot. But I just want to use gcloud command. So I'll click on Cloud Shell, right? And this is going to take a while before it comes. Okay, it's already up. And then I'm just going to use some commands. So let me copy the gcloud command and so here is it. So basically this is the gcloud compute this snapshot, right? And this is the snapshot name. This is the name for the snapshot, and this is the zone, right? This is the snapshot for the database, the disk, right? This disk here. So I'm going to hit enter, authorize, authorize. Okay, so creating snapshots. So I'm going to do the same thing for this one, right? So I'm going to copy the command for the disk that is attached to the application server. So it's creating. So I'm going to do the same thing. And once we are done with this, the next thing we are going to do is to create the disk, right, in the Australia region, right? So, and that disk, once we create that disk, the way we are going to create it is that we are going to create the disk, not just creating the disk, but we are going to create the disk from these snapshots. So it's going to really be an amazing, and once we create the disks will already contain the data from the source virtual machine. So let me create the next snapshot. So this one is app 01, okay? It's correct. So it's creating. So next, now I'm going to create the disk in the Australia region, right? Using the snapshot that was created. So in fact, before we create that disk, let's come to snapshots. Let's come to snapshots to see what was just created. So click on snapshots, and these are the snapshot that was just created, right? These are the snapshots. See the name, US app 01 snapshot, which is what we had here. US, app 01 snapshot. So let me create the disk now, right? The disk from this snapshot. So paste. So this compute this create, right? Create, this is going to be the name of the disk, AUSDB01, right? And then the source is going to be from this snapshot, right? It's going to be from this snapshot, and the zone is, this disk now is being created in Australia region, right? So I'll click enter, and then I'm going to create the disk for the app, right? For the app. So that's been created. So the first disk have been created. So let's create the second disk for, the second disk for um from the snapshot, right? From the second snapshot, from this snapshot. So let's create this second disk. So the other disks have been created. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the instance, the virtual machine. But now I'm going to use this disk, right? I'm going to use this disk. So if you look at the name of the first disk, AUS DB01, and then the name of the second one is AUS app 01. So I'm going to use this disk to create the instances, right? But now the instances will be created what in Australia region, right? It's going to be created in Australia region. So, and it has to be the same zone, right? So, use this gcloud command. So you see that gcloud compute instance creates, this is the name of the instance, right? And then this is the name of the disk, right? This is the name of the disk, and this mode is read write. So we'll hit enter, and then I'll copy the other command for the instance for the database. So as we can see, the instance have been created. This is the name, and this is the internal IP, the external IP, and the status is running. So let me come back to create. Oh, sorry, not this. So this one now is AUS DB01. So I'm creating the instance for the database now, right? So I'm using the disk that was already created, right? So these have been created now. So now let me go back to my virtual machine. Let me go back to my compute engine. Virtual machine, okay. And then these are the instances. So we've created the virtual machines, both for the application and for the database. So now I'm going to connect remotely to the application server, which is this one. So I'll click on SSH, and I want to try to see if I can, get the, the application files, right? That the application files that were in the web server, right? In the application server seated in this USA app 01. So I'll authorize. Then, so once it's connected, I'm going to see if I can, okay. So now we are currently inside the application server. So let me do ls on this to see ls root here. Okay. See total 0. Okay, so maybe something is definitely wrong. Let's see. Mm. Well, there's nothing there. There's nothing inside. That's strange. Is it that it did not, there was nothing inside this? Let me check. Oh no, I already shut it down. Mm. Okay, so basically, what we just wanted to do was to see if we could access the application files, right? If we could access the application files, what we just do is we'll just switch to the index.js, right? The index.js, and we are going to edit. So inside the index.js, we are just going to edit the um, the index.js file. And the only change we are just going to make is we are going to put the the IP address, the public IP address, right, for the database. We are going to put it inside the application file so that the application can connect to the database. So that's just the major thing. And also, and then we are going to access the application through port 3000 because that was the firewall that was created to access, to access this, the application seated in the US region, even though we had challenges with that. So, but we created a firewall. So let me see, um, VPC, and let me just firewall rules. So we created the firewalls on, you know, yeah. So this was it, right? The one that we created, So, so that's just it. So I don't know why, you know, I don't know, maybe there's a mistake somewhere or something, but that's just basically it. Yeah. So thank you.